welcome back to Miss Flores' virtual classroom. Today is Wednesday, November 4th. I'm so excited to have you here. We're doing our science lesson, and we've just started on our rockin' unit. And so we've been talking about rocks. And so today we're going to go ahead and finish that article that we started yesterday on Tuesday. Let's first look at our anticipation guide. Right? We only have 2 more statements left on the anticipation guide that we have not gotten in our articles. So these are the things I want you to be thinking about as we are reading today about, is this still an agree statement or a disagree statement? Our first statement is a geologist is a scientist who studies maps. I wonder what that's going to have to be about, because are we learning about maps? No, we're learning about rocks. So let's go ahead and read more about geologists today. And our second statement is animals and plants that become rocks after they die are called fossils. And we haven't learned about fossils yet, so I'm excited to learn about what that word means today. So let's go ahead and go to our article. Let's go ahead and take a moment to review what we learned yesterday. We talked about colors and how the color of a rock might be in its name. And so we looked at this big old picture yesterday. We looked at the blue azurite and we said, whoa, that is a blue rock. And the name of the rock has blue in it. We looked at the turquoise, which is a blue and green color, but it's also the name of this rock. Right? So if I said I have a turquoise scarf, you would know I have a blue or green scarf. But if you're holding a rock and you say this is a turquoise, that is true too. Let's see what else we have. We have a speckled granite. Why is it called speckled? Because there's little specks of white and black and this little beige color. And so it's a speckled granite because it's telling us what the colors in the rock looks like. Right? And then right now we're going to talk about pyrite, brassy pyrite, right? So that's going to have a shiny, weird gold color. Let's find out what pyrite is. That's what we're going to talk about next. Some rocks have similar colors. That means their colors look the same. Take a look at the picture of pyrite above. Look at the pyrite. That's the brassy pyrite we were looking at. Pyrite is sometimes called fool's gold. Can you guess why? If you guess because it looks shiny like gold, then you're totally correct. But it's not real gold, right? Look at this picture right here. Look at this rock. This is real gold, but it looks so different from the pyrite. All right, next we're going to talk about sizes. Rocks are different sizes. And, because we're a virtual classroom, we might not be able to hold all the rocks that we're seeing in person, but we can use other things in the picture to help us understand how big is this rock. Look at this girl sitting on this rock. Think to yourself, is that a little rock or a big rock? That's a big rock. How do I know? I know it's a big rock because the girl is sitting on the rock and the rock is bigger than the girl. So I know it's not a little rock because she would not be able to sit on it if it was a little rock. It has to be a big old rock. That's how we're going to tell how the size of a rock is, right? And then our next one, look at these rocks. Are these little rocks or big rocks? These are little rocks because they fit in someone's hands, right? You couldn't sit on these rocks, at least not like how the girl was sitting on that big rock in the last picture, right? So look at this one. Look at this rock. Is this a big rock or a little rock? Look how this man is climbing up the rock. Look how this woman is already standing on the rock. So what size is this rock? It is a big rock. It has to be a big old rock for us to be able to climb it. All right, try it now. Now, you can also measure the exact size of a rock. You could take a ruler out, you could look at the inches, and then you could measure how big it is. So they used an example right here with this rock, and they've given us a centimeter ruler. And whenever you're measuring something, remember you always put the object where it starts at 0. And then you're going to count, you're going to look at where it ends on the ruler, right? So I can see that this object starts at 0, and I can see that it ends around 5 centimeters, right? So this rock is about 5 centimeters. So whenever you can practice at home if you have a ruler and a rock, but we're just going to be looking at how big the rock looks. We're going to be saying, is this a big rock or a little rock? All right, career corner. What does a geologist do? Oh my gosh, we've been trying to figure out what a geologist does, so I'm excited to read this part of our article. Rocks have many uses. Many of our tools are made out of rocks. We grow plants in soil that contain rocks. Earth itself is made out of rocks. It is important that we know as much as we can about rocks. And there's the man from the picture earlier in our vocabulary, our geologist. A geologist is a scientist who studies the physical parts of Earth. Some geologists study different types of rocks. If they find a rock, they might ask, what is it made out of? They might ask how the rock was made. Some geologists study animals or plants that become rocks after they die. These rocks are called fossils. So what are fossils? Animals or plants that become rocks after they die. You have to go to college to become a geologist. Even if you decide not to focus on rocks, you will learn a lot about them. Rocks can be pretty interesting once we start looking more closely. So we're going to be looking, let's go ahead and do a little review before we close our lesson today. We're looking at this rock. Now, I want to think about the properties first. So what color is this rock? What color is this rock? Is it black all over? Is it white all over? Is it mostly black with white specks? It is black all over because whenever I'm looking what the texture of this rock is, it is smooth all over. It is smooth all over. That's why it's so shiny, right? I can see it's shiny, so I know when I touch it, it will feel kind of like glass, right? And now it says, how wide is a smaller rock? So we have to look at the smaller rock. It starts at 0, and we have to see where it ends. So it's about 3 centimeters. And that's how you would look at the properties. Tomorrow's activity, we are going to get to be rock detectives, and we're going to be looking at some rocks and thinking about the physical properties for these rocks. I am super excited for our rock detective activity tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining my lesson. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. We have to finish our anticipation guide. A geologist is a scientist who studies maps. Is this correct? Do we agree with this statement? No, we don't. We disagree. What's a geologist? Someone who studies rocks. And our last statement, animals and plants that become rocks after they die are called fossils. And we learned what fossils are today. They're animals and plants that die and then become rocks. And those rocks are called fossils. Thank you so much for joining me in my lesson today. I'm so excited to see y'all tomorrow.